Hi everyone, hope you're doing well and welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here and you enjoy the topics I cover, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you find this video helpful, informative, or even just entertaining, please give it a like and share it around. It really helps the channel grow. And as you can see from the thumbnail of this video, I'm going to go through recording a live band using the TASCAM Model 12 mixer, audio interface, and recorder controller in standalone mode, so no computers. So I'm going to be recording a live band. Well, not really live, but a live band. We're going to multi-track all of the different instrumentation, from drums to the bass guitars, the guitars, the brass sections that we have in this band, and then the vocals and so on. Just purely using the TASCAM Model 12 with no connection to any computer. So hope you stick around. It might be a bit lengthy one. I'll try to keep it short. It might be lengthy, but I hope you stick around because I'm going to try to share some secrets and how I actually manage this. And this might help you to overcome some of the limitations of the TASCAM Model 12 having only 10 channels to record to. So you're probably going to be wondering how we're going to record a live drum set with 8 microphones and then we're going to record everything else in between. So stick around. That's what we're going to do today. So if that's something it really interests you and you learn a lot from it, and if you like to support the channel financially, you can click the Super Thanks button. Become a channel member for just $1 a month with access to members-only videos and also early releases and more. Or make a one-time PayPal donation using the link in the description, because your support means the world to me. It takes a lot of time and effort to prepare these videos and share the knowledge. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So now let's get on into the video while we wait for a few more people coming around. And I'm going to show you around what's happening. And the song we're going to mix today, yeah, I haven't written it down, haven't I? But I'll find out and I'll put that in the description. Okay, so if you are here live, because I did not really announce it as such, say hello in the chat section, because I'll be looking at the chat section as well. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them for you. But just to give you a brief overview of let me get my levels right of my microphone. It's a bit too loud. Just to give you an overview of things, basically what's going to happen is I have multi-tracks on another PC, like my laptop, and I do have another audio interface that has its 8 outputs connected to the 8 inputs of my TASCAM Model 12, simulating a live band playing in my studio. Because it's very hard to actually do video live stream and have a live band play. So I'm going to use a multi-track, and it's all going to feed into the TASCAM Model 12, just as if a live band was here and I was recording. So it's going to be no different. So that's the experience you're going to be able to watch and hopefully learn some of the tricks that I'll be using. These were some of the tricks that I used back in the days when we had 8-track cassettes recorder. You know, from the 4-track, couldn't do much on the 4-track, but if you had 8 tracks, this is how we actually managed to do things. And now on a cassette, obviously, from one generation to the next, you will lose quality. But since we are working on a digital platform, everything is digital, we are recording into the SD card. So that means there's no degradation of quality. Now, one of the things that you may be asking, if we're going to use all of the channels, and I'm going to use 8 of the inputs, because I've got 8 microphone inputs, right, to record the drums, how am I going to be able to, use the other inputs? Of course, we're going to record the drums, and the whole idea is once we record the drums, and then we're going to be mixing down just the drums onto the master bus. And then we're going to copy that onto track 9 and 10. So in the end, just before our final song mix, we will have drums on 9 and 10. But here's a question I'm pretty sure many people are going to be asking. Well, let's say we assume that we recorded everything. I've got the drums here, I've got guitars here, and everything else, the vocals, all good. And I'm coming down to final mix down, but I realize that the drums don't sound as good. Or there's, let's say, in this song, I've got brass section. The brass don't really sound good. The balance is not right. How I'm going to go back and be able to edit, especially the drums, right? Because once we mix it down into a stereo, and we replace it into 9 and 10, how and we're going to overwrite and record other things on those other channels, right, onto the tracks on the multi-track recorder. How are we going to be able to recall back and just do a tweak? Maybe the snare was too high, or maybe the kick was too loud, or the overheads were too compressed and too washy, and we've got too much room resonance coming in. So how are we going to go back? Well, if you stick around, that's the secret I'm going to tell you. Well, once you know, it's not going to be secret anymore, but that's the thing that I'm going to talk about, how to manage and organize the recording session so that you can still go back to the drums and mix it again, adjust it again, and be able to, let's say if there were some timing issues in between, of course you could go in and punch out just that section of the drums, right? Because you can do punch in and punch out. Do another mix and then come back to the final mix. So I hope you stick around for that. So if you are here and you have any questions, feel free to use the comment section, the chat section. I do have a screen in front of me that I'm looking, and I'll be able to stop and answers. But I'm going to try to continue as much as I can so that we don't have this video too lengthy of its time, because we got to go into all this process. I assume it's going to be anywhere between about hour to hour and a half. That's why we are here together, okay? So I'm going to try to share some secrets, and you can watch how I do it. Maybe this will help you in your production as well. Okay, so now that all of that is out of the way, let's have a quick look at, let me switch a scene into here, and that is what we want to do now. So in this basically video live stream, which you're going to be able to watch it later on as well, we're going to do a multi-track song recording for a live band in your home studio using the TASCAM Model 12 in a standalone multi-track recorder mode. So no computer connected at all to the multi-disc. This is something a lot of people ask and wonder how it's possible to do it. So I will show you in this video, live stream video anyway. And next, let's have a look first what we have available on our TASCAM Model 12. If you haven't watched any of my videos, I've got tons of videos on the TASCAM Model 12. Take the time to watch them. I do have a playlist as well. I will try to leave that playlist in the description after the live stream so you can watch them if you haven't already. So just to go to the basics again, we have 10 inputs. Plus a 12, 1 and 2, which is the main, but we're not going to worry about that because that's we're going to use that as well. So we can have up to 8 microphones, and that's it. So up to 8 microphones is what we're going to be able to record. Or we can have 7 microphones and 1 stereo line level input. So if you got keyboards and things that you want to join into the mixing, that's what you can do. Or we could have 6 microphones and 2 stereo line levels. Okay, so that will give us the 10 inputs. Or we could have 5 stereo line levels. So if you're doing, there's no microphones involved at all, then 5 stereo line inputs we've got, plus the stereo main bus. So a total of 12 multi-channel audio. It's going to go into our multi-track recorder. And next, the first thing that I try to do, of course, depending on genre of music and what plans you have, it could be slightly different, but majority of the time you want to record the drums because the drums are the one that take the most inputs. In this case, we've got, 8 microphones that we've got the drums mic that. And I've got kick and snare on channels 1 and 2. Now, in this example, I won't be using any inserts with hardware compressors on them. But if I was recording it live, most likely I will be adding compressors in them as well on the way in. So I record the hardware compression built in and not just rely on the built-in one knob compressor. But you could do that, or you could do it straight away. It's up to you. And on channels 3 and 4, I've got my overhead microphones connected. And then on channel 5, I've got my hi-hat. 6, 7, and 9, I've got my toms. Now, the reason we are missing 8 and 10, because as soon as you connect to the left input or the XLR microphone input of channel 7, channel 8 is disconnected. So that's how I'm using it. I hope that makes sense. So that's how you lose. That's why you get only 8 microphones. So that's how we're gonna do it. Oops. Let's go back into here. Now, here's the first step. Let's set up the song. I've got a formatted SD card. There's nothing on there, no song. So I'm just gonna click, add a new song. I'm gonna do 44, 24-bit. 44 kilohertz is fine. It's up to you how you want to set it, but 44, we can even go 48, 24-bit. It does not matter because it's not connected to any USB, so it's up to us what we choose. Let's choose 48, 24-bit, the highest quality we can get from this machine. And the next thing I'm going to do, but no, by default, it's coming as song 001. Here's something that one of the secrets that I'm going to show you. It works really great. Name the song. In this example, because I'm recording drums, I'm going to go here and call it drums. Where are we? Ooh. This way, when we have can't talk and not fluent in talking and doing scrolling at the same time. I just realized. What the? Okay, drum. Oh, I'm skipping too much. Let's call it drum 001. And that's okay. And now we are ready. So I have a song here called Drum 001. So we can do it, one take. And if it's fine and we want to do another take, I will create another project, another song project, and call it Drum 002. So we can have a switch between one or the two. But ideally what you want is to have one song called a drum and you're recording the drums. And making sure you get the timing right, the feel right, and the song will go all the way through. Okay? Later on, you'll find out a reason why I want to call it drum rather than the actual name of the song. Okay? So now that it's ready, let's go out. Let's get into our meters, live input meters. And that's what I've got my mode into live inputs on all of them. I'm starting from a blank canvas. Everything is zeroed in. And let's sort of get the drummer start playing. And start bringing out the levels. Okay, I've got some lights coming up. Okay, here's my kick. I'm looking at the levels to make sure I've got enough sort of level there. And I've got my snare. That's the snare. Next, I have my overhead, so I'm just going to turn left and right and bring it up. Solo them. So all I'm hitting are the overheads. Snare is pointing a little bit more to the left, so and done. This is my hi-hat and this is my toms. Levels looking good here. Okay, I can pan them a tiny bit to give that nice stereo width. Okay, so let's give a little bit of a compression on the kick, solo that. If you haven't watched my video about what the one knob compression do, I've done a video on it, so you know at what position, what sort of ratio it's actually at, so you can decide on that. So for this one, because I want medium compression, medium ratio in the middle there, and I can use the gain to adjust that. Okay, that's the snare. Okay, you can hear how the snare is really bright and snappy. If you think that compression doesn't change the sound, the tonal characteristics of a sound, have a listen. Can you hear how it changed? See how as you're adding compression, you can hear the resonance of the snare springs. So I'll just put a low cut on that one. Okay, that sounds all good. So that's how you can sort of try to find out what is happening with the with the compression. Now overheads, I normally try not to put any compression on them because that was going to bring out all the room sound and the resonance in there. I can always do that a bit later on. I've got the hi-hats over here, a little bit of that direction, and I think we are pretty much ready to go. I will put a low cut on the overheads, the low cut on the hi-hat for sure, and the toms I might just leave them in there. I can always EQ that later on. So let's get the drummer to play one more time so we can get levels right. I'm not going to worry about EQing because what we're going to record is straight after the low cut. Okay, so any EQ changes we do now, it's not going to have any effect what's get recorded. Okay, so that is something that we can do during mixing time. At the moment, all I'm trying to do is just have some balance of our song and making sure that I've got the levels right and any low cuts that I have to do. Compression, again, we are trying, but we don't need to because it's not going to affect our recording. When we are playing it back to do our mix down, that's when we can start going into the compression and EQ. Okay, so let's have a quick sort of chance to see where things are at. I've got my master on 0, and I'm going to keep an eye out on my meter as well. Looks like I've got a good signal coming in. Sounds all good. And yeah, that's enough signals there. Okay, of course, in a live situation, it's ideal to use the click track so that way, everything is onto click track. But in this instance, I'm not going to use the click track. That way, if you use the click track, send it to the headphones for the drummer. That way, everything is in sync as well. Okay, let's have a recording and see how we go. I'm going to arm all my tracks to record and press the record button, and the drummer will start playing, hopefully, if he's feeling up to it, and then we can start recording and keep an eye out on it. Of course, anything that I speak, it's not going to be recorded because that's completely independent. Actually, I'm just going to stop it there. I should have actually thought about it beforehand. I'm going to go into the click metronome, even though I just realized that as I was talking, that might be ideal to have it at the right tempo as well, which is 106. Okay, so if we need to use click track, it'll be correct. So I'm just going to go back to that and start recording again. Sorry guys, this is live streaming and then working live, so it can happen. So here we go, one more time. Drummer, go. In the meantime, while it's recording, if you have any comments, use the chat, say hello if you are watching, if you have any questions, and ask me there. I can keep an eye out there and I'll be able to answer them as well while we are doing our recording. I did choose a song that wasn't too long, but it's a bit hard to find songs which are any less than 2.5 and 3 minutes long. As I mentioned, any changes we do here on our faders, it's not going to make any difference to the recording. The recording is going straight from each channel into the multi-track recorder. I mean, we can play around with some of the compressions. I'm just EQing the kick and the snare, getting some of the low frequencies out of the other microphones. Okay, thank you, Mr. Drummer. And we can press stop. So now we have multi-tracks recorded there. Okay, we go back and we can have a quick listen. Okay, we can disable that now. And let's have a listen. Oh, multi-track. Oh, we go. So what we're hearing now, what you're hearing, is what's coming from the multi-track recorder. Okay. Some resonance there. I'm not going to drool on too long, otherwise this whole thing will go too long. I'm just going to assume that we are now pretty much happy with our drum mix. I could spend hours trying to go through it. That is something you can do when you are recording. Okay, so let's not drool on too long with it, because otherwise we'll be here forever. Okay, I'm going to assume we're all happy with that drum mix. We don't have to do too much automation as such, so we're ready to go. So now to mix it down, all we have to do is making sure that we don't have any of the record buttons pressed, and we're just going to press play, record, and that will record our new mix with the compression and EQ all into our main bus. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Of course, we can automate things if we wanted to. Of course, if you have a singer and if the drummer needs to follow, you can have the singer just sort of sing in the background but not record it, so the drummer knows which part of the song's arrangement they're at and so on. So that is something you can organize when you are recording the band. Or if you recording it and you're a multi-talented musician, you can play the drums and everything else. So you can organize yourself, make a chart, making sure you know where you are in part of the song. And there we are. Bit of compression there, I guess we could. I'm keeping my eye out for the meter as well, making sure we're not going too far up, but we're still very much in the clear in level wise, so we're not going to clip that. I'm also using headphones to this mixdown instead of using my speakers, just so that I don't get any feedback to the microphone, and you get a nice clean audio for my vocals. So it may not be accurate, but you get the idea, you get the example how we recorded it, and now we're mixing it down into the main bus, and then we're going to use that main bus as our drums bus to continue for the rest of the song. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Drummer. You've been fantastic. And then we can go back. Okay, so now what we need to do is export the main mix as a stereo. So I'm not going to swap the main into 9 and 10 because that will override what's already there. Okay, so but what I'm going to do is come here, stereo mix export, click OK. Export main stereo wave file. Are you sure? Yes. And because we named it drum 000001, whatever, we gave it a number. It's a good idea to give it a number, but the main important thing is we called it drum. Now we have a stereo mix file outside the project that is our drum mix. And if you want to have a listen to it, we can always go into the SD play. Yes, it plays on 9 and 10. Thank you. That's all good. Now I have a file here called drum 0001.2 mix 001 as a WAV file, and we can play that. And they should come through here. Oops, I paused it. So that's our drum as a stereo playing back. Okay? And we can have a listen. Again here, we can compress it if you wanted to, EQ it if you wanted to. Okay, so now we have the drum bus. That's what I'm going to call it. So here I'm going to go back to a song, reset everything, and select that. Here I'm going to select new. and I'm going to create a new song. Again, 48 kilohertz, 24 bits. I'm going to name it. What should we record next? I think the next stage, as with my, let's go into my setup. Okay. So hopefully this will give you some example that I'm going to import the drums wave file that I just exported it into a new project, and I'm going to call that, I could call it guitar or brass. Okay, this is as an example. So I'm going to call this brass section, and I have 4 brass sections plus a Hammond organ. Okay, and I'm going to play them either record them all at the same time or at different times, and then we're going to do the same thing. So here, let's go into and call it brass. What the? Is it me or this thing is playing around? Where's my B? God, it's jumping. I gotta go one at a time. Okay. B. R. Next. Then I need A. You get the idea anyway. I'm going to leave it as that. It says brass, but you get the idea. So now I have a new project called brass. Okay? And then I've got another one called drum. Now with the brass, let's, now that we've got open, here I'm going to import my drums into channel 9. And to do that, I'm going to go into the multi-track recorder, track edit, import, drum, because that's the one I've exported. Okay. And I want to import that into 9 and 10. And here's the great trick, is that I still have my drums with multi-track still available as song drums, but I've imported my drums stereo output into a new track. And now I'm going to record my brass section and my Hammond section and so on, right? Let's go back into over here. I forgot to switch. Anyway, so I create a new song and called it brass. And I got to keep my eye out for what's happening on the screen. Sorry, guys. And what I did is I imported the drums stereo wave file into channels 9 and 10. Okay, I can do that again, just in case. I mean, the screen is small, you can't see it anyway. So I go to multi-track, track edit, import, drum mix that we just exported from our first song project. And we want to import that into 9 and 10. Okay. And now, if we play our brass song, we should hear the drums here. So that means if I need to mix again my drums, I can load that song, drums song project back in and do another mix and export and import it back into brass or whatever the next section of the song that you are recording. Hope that makes sense, because that is the part how it will allow you to go back and remix again a part or section that you wanted to fix something after you recorded other things. let's say in the drum section, maybe you want to punch in and punch out somewhere, and so on. So that's what we've got now. Okay, so I have a new song project called Brass, and I've imported the song on channels 9 and 10. So that's what we're going to record now. Okay, Brass guys, are you ready? Okay, I guess they are ready. Okay, so let's have a listen. Let's turn this all into live input, apart from track 9, which is basically our drums channel, and that's our playback from the multi-track recorder. Okay, let's reset everything back, making sure we've got all those correct. It doesn't really matter at the moment because we're just going to record it anyway, and we're not mixing it down. I hope you guys enjoying this. I hope that helps you out, being able to utilize multi-project, recording each section into a song project and then importing each bit to the next project and adding on to it. Of course, being digital, we're not losing any quality. Let's give it a try. So we should have our drum section, or the brass section will be coming in. That's our Hammond. That's stereo, left and right. Meters. Actually, we could. Like bandos. Let's add some effects as well to the brass, tiny bit. Okay, I think we are ready to record, so I'm gonna record all of those sections. Of course, we make sure we're not recording 9 and 10 because that's our drum set. I don't have anything at the moment on 7 and 8. Okay, so we're ready to go to record. Brass players, trumpets are ready. Hammond guys ready. Yep, they're all ready to play. So here we go. And while that's recording, I'm going to switch into the chat. I haven't seen any chats. Say hello if you are there, just to make sure that people can see. People watching. I can't even tell. Anyway, hopefully people will watch this later on after the live stream. And we're just recording the brass section now. Level's looking good. Okay, thank you guys. That was fantastic take. Thank you, thank you. All right, so now that we've got all that recorded, the same procedure again. We're gonna mix them down. So for that, okay. So let's take them off recording. Now, of course, we're gonna mute the drums because we don't want the drums mixing in to that. And as I was listening, I did some basic, there's not much EQing or compression that we need to do. But if you, in your case, if you do need to do, then of course you can do that. I'm just adding a little bit of plate reverb onto them, just making sure that it's nice in the same environment, because I'm going to use plate reverb for the other instruments and the vocals as well. But you can, of course, use different effects for different sections of the song if you wanted to, but I'm just going to leave it as simple as that. So now that we've got that, I'm happy with the levels from the drums to that. But again, we can do mix. We just need to concentrate the balance between the Hammond organ and the brass section. So that's the brass section. I'm going to leave it as that as well. And now, if we go into the menu, we're going to press record and record only the brass sections onto the main and do another export for our brass section. Okay, here we go. Obviously, this is going to be silent part. This is where the drums start, and we don't have drums. We're going to make sure that we're only mixing the part of the song that we want to mix and have a sort of what I would call it a bass for that, a bass section. So this is the we created the drum bass. Now we are creating the brass and organ section bass, because we don't have that many. I mean, you could do a very similar thing on the TASCAM Model 16 and the 24, but you wouldn't be that restricted because you only have, oh, what am I doing? That's not right. We got to switch into multi-track recorder first. Okay, now let's try that again. Sort of wondering why there's no sound. Yeah, those are the things. You got to keep an sort of eye out and ear out, making sure that everything is doing correctly. So as I was mentioning, between the 16 and the 24, of course, you have more channels available, so you can mix into the main instead of exporting it and then importing into another project channel. You have more channels available, then you can swap that into the section. But at the same time, especially with the 16, you still don't have that many channels available. If not, then basically record the drums and as a separate project. Then you can come back and remix it if need be, because you still have all of your recorded tracks. The maybe even up to 16 tracks, 16 microphones if you wanted to record and have that, and you can always go back to it. So now we're recording just the brass and the guitar and the organ section into our main. Of course, we can always automate things as well if you wanted to. It's always a good idea to have written down all the arrangement, all the different parts, and make mental as well as written note as you are doing sub mixes of what the things are. Of course, you can always take a photo with your phone, and so you can remember what the mix was as you were doing the mix down. So you can recall all of those EQ sections if you need to go back and mix it again. Okay, so you can take a snapshot with your phone and you can go back and say, okay, this is how I mixed, these were the levels. So you get very similar levels as you are doing remixing again. You need to be able to recall back. Of course, nothing is nothing motorized here, so you got to manually put the same levels there as well. So keep that in mind. A little bit of plate reverb here that really glues all the trumpets together. And there we are. Okay. I did the same mistake again. I forgot to put the tempo correctly. Anyway, I'm not going to worry too much about it, but you get the idea. We just have to make sure that our tempo is the same. I'm not going to go through that recording another 3 minutes of it. Hopefully it'll be fine. It should be fine because everything starts at the same time because of the click tracking. Okay, so now that we've got that done, let's do again the same thing. Export stereo mix, yes. And this file, which will be the second file of our stereo mix, will be called brass. And that's pretty much what I really need to do, because after I have my drums here and then my brass and Hammond section here, I will have 6 tracks where I will have my vocal and my guitars and bass guitar, directly recorded here. So I don't have to do any of that. So let's do that, shall we? So now again, menu. I'm gonna song here, a new song. I'm gonna call it song 1. 48 kilohertz, 24 bits is okay. And exit. And the click track, let's change the metronome to the right tempo, because I forgot last time. And we are ready. So here, now this time, again, it's a blank song. So I'm going to go into multi-track recorder, track edit, import drums. I'm going to import the drums to 9 and 10. The only reason I imported the drums into the brass song project so that the brass players will have the timing and the arrangement of the song, playing along with them. So I'm importing that again on this new song. And another one, I'm going to have that on track 7 and 8, my brass and Hammond organ section. And now I can switch everything back into the live inputs. So now I have drums, brass and Hammond section. And pretty much now I can go ahead and record all the others because of the song, this song arrangement. I have now enough room to be able to do that. So again, let's reset everything, making sure that makes it easier later on anyway. Okay, we've got that all sorted. Let's have a listen to what we just imported. Here we go. I hope this is really helping you to take the understanding of what else you can do with all the limitations of the TASCAM Model 12, how you can expand it, be creative. So that's now our brass and Hammond section. Yeah, that sounds okay. Yep, okay, so it's all good. So we've got that. Now next, let's try the bass guitar. And bass guitar, I have it connected to input 6. So let's give that a try. Bass guitar, are you ready? Yeah, I guess he is ready. Let's give you a try. And so we can adjust the levels for the bass guitar. Hope the audio is coming nice and clear. Okay, so the bass guitar is ready. Thank you, bass guitar player. I've got you all ready to go. Next, let's have our guitarists. See if they are ready as well. Yeah, I guess they are ready. All good to go. Okay, let's have a sort of a quick play of what the guitarists are doing, so I can adjust the levels for the guitar players. Okay, then on 5 I have the acoustic. Just gentle compression is what I need. Just cleaning up a little bit there. Sounding good so far. What do you guys think? Yeah, they are happy. Okay, I think everybody is ready and everybody is waiting for the vocal singer. Are you ready? Yeah, I think he's ready. You ready to go? Okay, so I'm going to arm those for recording as well. And I can arm that for recording. And let's get the vocals in as well. Everybody, let's go.
Instead, we've a different way of counting the distance up ahead. I screw up the recipes cause my measurements are wrong. My kilos don't count and your miles are too long. For you 20 is freezing, but for me it is warm. I'm the one that's always shouting while you keep calm. You have summer storms, I have winter northern lights. I got centigrade and you Fahrenheit. There's nothing like a tiny little challenge, comparing, converting, and the sort. But I don't wanna take the easy way out. A 20-minute recipe is not what I'm looking for. Cause you're far too crazy for me not to learn how to follow a recipe. For every quart I spill, a pound I measure wrong. I'm gonna make it up to you all life long.
I think we are all ready to go ahead and record our pretty much final take of the song. So I hope you heard and you saw what was happening. Initially, I recorded the drums as one project and then exported the stereo and imported into 9 and 10. I did the same thing with the brass, exported it and imported into 7 and 8. Now I'm recording the rest of the instrumentation. I do have enough tracks, so I don't have to worry about everything else. I've got my vocals, I've got my guitars, rhythm guitar, solo guitar, and harmony guitar, and my bass as well. So as I'm recording, I'm doing some mixes, but of course this does not affect what gets recorded.
Shouting while you keep calm. You have summer storms, I have winter northern lights. I got centigrade and you Fahrenheit. There's nothing like a tiny little challenge, comparing, converting, and the sort. But I don't wanna take the easy way out. A 20-minute recipe is not what I'm looking for. 'Cause you're far too crazy for me not to learn how to follow a recipe. For every quart I spill, a pound I measure wrong. I'm gonna make it up to you all lifelong. A tiny little challenge, comparing, converting, and the sort. But I don't wanna take the easy way out. A 20-minute recipe is not what I'm looking for. 'Cause you're far too crazy for me not to learn how to follow a recipe. For every quart I spill, a pound I measure wrong. I'm gonna make it up to you all lifelong. 'Cause you're far too crazy for me not to learn how to follow a recipe. For every quart I spill, a pound I measure wrong. I'm gonna make it up to you. I'm gonna make it up to you all lifelong.
The song that you just heard is Crazy For Me by Random Somebody. That's what it's called, Random Somebody. That band is, I've used these tracks before for demonstration. So that's what we've got now. Everything is recorded. We've got drums, our brass and Hammond organ, our bass guitar, our rhythm guitar, solo guitars, harmony guitar, and vocals. We still have one track available. So if we go back into multi-track recorder, now we can go ahead and start mixing to our heart's content until we get it right onto the main. And of course, to be able to do that, all you got to do is press the record button without anything armed, and then we will have the export. Now, one thing I should also mention in this stage, that because I kept my eye on the levels, I've got pretty much fairly good levels. If the levels were too low, there is an option in there. We can actually go and might do that just as an example. So the drums, let's say the drums were a little bit too low in volume. So I can track edit, and I can go here and say normalize, and track number 9 and 10. That's what I'm selecting. And for level, I probably want to go maybe to minus 2 dB, just to give enough headroom in there as well. And I can click yes. And now this will normalize. That means if there's any headroom, that means the peak of the waveforms are below the 0 dB full scale, they'll be increased, the gain increased to minus 2 dB that I set. I normally don't try to put at 0 dB because there's always going to be some peaks that's going to go over. It's always easier to actually normalize to minus 2, minus 1 at max. So now our drums could be louder, or it should be louder, because I did keep my eye out, making sure that it wasn't too loud as I was looking. So what we're hearing now is everything recorded onto the multi-track. Yep, it's definitely loud, so
You ask for pounds, I give you kilos instead. We've a different way of counting the distance up ahead. I screw up the recipes cause my measurements are wrong.
now we can go ahead and
Kilos
start
don't count,
adjusting.
and your miles are too long. For you, 20 is freezing, but for me it is warm. I'm the one that's always shouting while you keep calm. You have summer storms, I have winter northern lights. I got centigrade and you Fahrenheit. There's nothing like a tiny little challenge, comparing, converting, and the sword.
Well, I'm going to leave it at that. It's been quite a long time now. I don't know how long have I been live streaming. I started at 2:30 at my time. Yes, hour and 20 minutes, just about. So you get the idea now. If I wanted to go back and edit the drums, or if I wanted to add something, punch in or whatever, I can easily go into my song, load my drums section, load it, and now my drums are back. So I can play it back again. Hopefully I have taken photos of it so I know what the levels would be. And if we listen to it, we should be able to hear the drums now. We've got kick, snare. Okay. So now I can mix it again. A bit of resonance there. Okay, I can remix it that again and then export it as another drums wave file, stereo mix wave file, and import it back into our final song as a new drum set. So that's what we could do. So I could go back and remix again, and I haven't lost anything. Everything is still there. I hope this helps you out. I hope this live stream and me going through that helps you to understand how you can use your Model 12 and have a better mixing. So if we go into, where are we? What do we do? Okay, that's what we did. Yep. So if I go, can I go back? Does it allow me to go back? Yeah, here we go. So we recorded our drums. Then we recorded our, I miss, because a different project. So we'll then ignore that writing. Then we record the brass section and the Hammond organ while we were listening to the drums. And then we imported the brass section into 7 and 8 with the drums. We could record the bass with a hardware insert if you wanted to, or just directly. And then we recorded the electric guitars and then the vocal. And then finally, we could add the background vocal if you wanted to, and we can do a final mix. And that's where things are at. I hope this video was helpful. And I should say, again, thanks for being here. If you find this video helpful, informative, or even this was just entertaining for you, just to see how things work, please give it a like and share it around. It really helps my channel grow. Where are we? What I wanted to do. Oh, I got sidetracked. Here we go. Okay, and if you'd like to support my channel financially, you can click the Super Thanks. I think it's a button about here somewhere. I have no idea where it is. Or you can become a channel member for just $1 a month. That really helps. And that's that way you can access members-only videos and also videos which are early releases. or you can make a one-time PayPal donation using the link in the description. Your support really, really is appreciated and means the world to me. So now I'm going to spend just about a few more minutes in the chat section to see if you have any questions you wanted to ask and be able to answer them for you. Again, after the live stream, I'm more than happy to answer any questions as well. Oh, wow. That was a long session. I didn't expect it to be this long, but I guess sometimes things take longer. Okay, looks like that's it for today. Again, thanks for watching. As always, and have a great time making music. Cheerio, guys. Cheerio.